welcome. It's me, Missy. I'm back again. I have some more stories for you. Don't forget to mash like and subscribe if you'd like to. If you don't bother. Don't worry. Anyway, today I have two little stories. In my regular life, I'm a crafter, amongst other things that I do. And sometimes when I work at craft shows, I get to meet the most interesting people, especially children. And also, when I'm working at a craft show, I'll bring my spinning wheel along and I'll spin on my spinning wheel. And quite often, children will be so fascinated. Of course, they want to know, so where do you prick your finger that's going to make you go to sleep? And I assure them that there's nothing on my spinning wheel that's going to make you go to sleep, and nothing that's going to hurt you unless you do something really odd or strange or inappropriate. So anyway, there I am on my spinning wheel, spinning away, and this young family comes to watch me, and there's the mom and the dad and two children. And the little boy's looking at this, and he might have been, I'd say about that old, maybe 6, maybe a little bit younger. And he said, "Oh, may I try this? Oh, it looks so neat." And his little sister's jumping up and down, "Me too, me too, me too." Anyway, I said to his parents, I said, "Well, I can have him spin with me, but he'll have to sit on my lap and I have to make his hands work, but then he can actually spin. So if that's all right with you and all right with him, hop on up." So he hopped up on my lap, and I explained that when we're doing this, you have to hold your hand just like you're holding a baby chick. Not too hard because you don't want to squish it. And when I have the child holding real soft, then I can manipulate their fingers to spin on the spinning wheel. Well, he understood, and so we're spinning away, and he's so excited. He said, "Look at the wool is turning magically from fluff to string." And I said, "That's what spinning's all about." And he was so thrilled. And when we were done, I wound it up into a little ball and I gave it to him. I said, "No, there you go. That's the fruits of your labor." And his sister was saying, "Me too, I want to, I want to." And he leaned into me and he said, "My sister's pretty bouncy. She might not be able to do this." And I said, "Well, we'll ask your parents, and if she wants to, we'll give it a try." So I asked the parents, and they said, "Oh, we don't know that she's going to be able to do this. She doesn't sit still very well." And I said, "Well, she wants to, so hop on up." And so she climbed up on my lap, and we went through the whole baby chick thing and made wiggle your fingers so I can move your fingers around. And so she's sitting with me, and we begin to spin. And part of spinning is an action that's like this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this little rocky movement? That's part of spinning because your foot is treadling on a pedal and your hands are pulling, and it's quite natural. Quite natural, like for rocking a baby. Old women forever had had babies in their laps while they spun. It's sort of like an easy way of babysitting. So I'm holding her in my lap and we're spinning and I'm manipulating her fingers, and she's getting heavier and she's getting warmer. Well, this is odd. It's only been like 5 minutes. This is odd. And I look down at her, and this very wiggly little girl that, couldn't sit still is sound asleep. Her parents looked at her. They looked at me and they said, "Oh, now you have to come home with us." And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a special occasions granny." It was worth every minute. It was worth every minute. And you never know what's up with children and what they're thinking. So that was that story. Now, I think it was at the same event that I was with my crafts, and now I'm a resin artist, and oh my goodness, I do a lot with glitter. I love glitter. For all the years I spent as a serious historical clothier, no, I like glitter and bright colors now. This is what I do. So I use a lot of glitter in what I do. This little girl's looking at all my work, and she's like, "Oh," and she's got the eyes of wonder look. Ooh. And she turns and she says to me, "Your mom lets you use glitter." Oh my, took me aback. How I'd love to have my mom scold me. And so I said to her very quietly, I have to be very careful. Well, I told my husband the story, and he's very patient with me because I use glitter in the house. And every so often there's kind of glitter everywhere, quite by accident. When I refinished the floor of my workshop, I used epoxy floor covering and sprinkled glitter on it. Who wants those boring gray and black sprinkle things? So I locked glitter into the epoxy that went on my floor, and some came up and got tracked up the steps a little bit. So there, every so often you might see a little shiny spot, but that dear husband of mine says, oh, it's okay. I know, I can tell where you've been, and it's kind of pretty and kind of sparkly. So you just have to embrace your inner fairy around here. So one day I was working in the room. Now my husband works from home, so we spend a whole lot of time about 15 feet apart. And I'm working in there, and I said, uh-oh. Well, he knows that uh-oh sound. He said, okay, do I need shoes? I said, he says, okay, a vacuum cleaner, paper towels, what do you need? I said, masking tape. And be careful. I blew up a whole container of glitter. I had my rubber gloves on, and the little plastic was over the top, and I stuck my finger and whew, everywhere. It absolutely, oh my goodness. I had little gold sparkly things everywhere. But once again, remember, embrace it. Embrace it. Everything's a little bit pretty now, but I got most of it up. So decorating my world carefully. And by the way, I'm very respectful of the ecological issues with glitter. I lock it into epoxy resin at every opportunity. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks passed on. Thanks passed down.